Some people think that there's a conspiracy to reduce the population of the planet by 90%. I think that there's a great deal of credibility in that statement. The gentleman I'm about to talk to says maybe no, maybe yes.
Maybe no, maybe yes.
Maybe it's simply to do what Mother Nature is not doing. It's Dr. Frankenstein, he created his monster and performed his experiments from the dead. Some of the modern day Dr. Frankensteins are creating their monsters and performing their experiments on the living. What do you say to that?
I think it sounds a little paranoid, but yeah.
I want to identify they. If they aren't doing anything, who in the hell are they?
Well, what are they doing exactly?
Yes.
Sky?
We're talking about it in the sky, right?
Those are condensation trails.
They're condensation trails.
Yes, they've been with us since 1921. Man first went up into the area of the atmosphere where you have moisture at that level, and that coldness, -40, you're going to get condensation.
Yes, absolutely, condensation trails.
Yes.
No question about it.
No question about it.
Now, I saw just the other day, off of Catalina.
Right.
Looked like a rocket that was shipped from a nuclear submarine going up into the air, and there's all sorts of crap. What was that?
That was a condensation trail.
That was a condensation trail.
Yes, that was a condensation trail.
That was a condensation trail.
Yes.
Where was the plane flying from the ocean
It's
floor
actually
to the ceiling?
The flight has actually been designated as UPS 902 coming from Honolulu to Phoenix, and they have actually documented coming 3 days later.
Were they flying under the water and then going up? Because that appears to be what it is. I mean, it's the most. It made front page of the LA Times.
Nobody knew what it was. Nobody knew what it was except for contrail science.
But you know what it is.
Yes.
And contrail science knows what it is.
They figured
How do we reach contrail science?
Or just go contrail science on Google.
Contrailscience.com?
It's probably the best. It's probably the best site by far dealing with contrails. How they're being confused as chemical trails.
Confused. When I see something that's in the sky coming over every day from Santa Cruz, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 crossing. I used to look out there, and what did I see? I didn't see any.
What did you see any this summer?
I didn't see any of these toxic dumps. I didn't see any aircrafting. I call it aircraft.
That's because in this area of Southern California, you have contrail season. It's basically the whole northern hemisphere is a contrail season.
So it's cyclical,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Cyclical goes up and down. It comes in and out with the season.
It's seasonal.
Seasonal?
Yeah,
well, seasonal is cyclical. I mean, one season to the other season. I mean, that's cyclical, right?
Kind of, and there'll be more coming pretty soon.
More coming?
Yes, and then they'll go away in the spring.
Then they go away in the spring.
Yes.
This is amazing. I've seen these things in the spring.
Well, later on in the spring you won't. Late spring you don't see them.
Late spring we don't see them.
Yeah.
So, when we're taking a look at these crisscrosses across the sky, it's all natural. It's all crystals, right?
It's ice crystals made by airplanes, basically.
Ice crystals made by airplanes.
And they have a flight pattern.
They have a flight pattern.
You have thousands of.
Have you ever seen any of the pictures where there's big drums, 55-gallon drums, inside the planes, and then there's little spray things that go out? What's that? What is that all about?
What they usually show that you see.
Are they spraying contrails?
No, they're ballasts. They're weights.
They're weights.
What you don't see is right behind there's technicians. Every plane that's designed, it has to go through a certain FAA testing. And so what they do is they take all the seats out of the plane, and they put these barrels. Those barrels represent people, basically weights. And they take the plane at a certain altitude, and they fly it. So they run maneuvers to see how the plane holds up when there's weight being shifted around. They can shift the weights because it's fluid.
Don't you think that, after...
There's nothing in it.
After all of these years since the Wright brothers came about, and they did their planes, and you see all the planes going back and forth between here and Europe and Japan and India.
Right.
That they really don't have to test them for the barrels.
They have to test every aircraft that goes online. 767 is one you see probably.
Yeah, how about those tubes that are coming down out of the barrels? What are those for?
Those are so they can shift the weight in the barrels. barrels are filled with fluid or water, and they want to shift it. So say you got a bunch of people on one side of the plane, and you want to do a left bank, they want to test the plane.
So it shifts the fluid inside the plane?
Yes, they can shift it. It's plumbing, so they can shift
This is amazing.
It's not. There's nothing in it. It's just. It's
nothing
a test
in
plane.
it.
It's a test plane.
It's a test plane.
To test the structure of the plane during maneuvers. That's all it is.
So that there's no skycrapping. No. What I call skycrapping.
No.
Not what some people call chemtrails, right? No. None of that.
No.
That's all bogus.
Yes.
What I call skycrapping.
No.
Not what some people call chemtrails, right? None of that.
No.
That's all bogus.
Yes.